Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and the Axis media is once again showing their divorce from the fans of these franchises and their divorce from their very readers. And why we call them Axis media? Because they care about what the corporations think far more than what the fans think. And we have another example of that coming from CBR. Now, this is all surrounding a rumor about Hugh Grant taking on the role of the Doctor. It's been denied. He's come out and said he's not going to play the Doctor, and I knew it wasn't going to be true because he's been rumored to play the Doctor ever since he appeared in the 1990s special as the Doctor, and it's always been unconfirmed. He's just been a rumor constantly for every time the Doctor's regenerated, so there's nothing really to say about that rumor, so I didn't make a video on it. But the reason I'm making it on now is that CBR is mocking the fans who wanted him. Now, I don't want Hugh Grant as the Doctor. He just doesn't feel right to me. He might be a little older than I want the Doctor to be in this particular instance. We need to go back to form a little bit. He's just not what I imagined. I'd take him. He'd definitely be an improvement, but it's just not what I imagined. So I wasn't in support of the rumor even from the beginning. But CBR's stance is that he's wrong for the role, not because of the reasons I stated or just creative reasons or disagreements with how he portrays characters. Their reason is because he's a straight white man. So it has nothing to do with him as a character. It's just what he looks like and where he puts his junk. So it's very much a misunderstanding of the franchise because the franchise is losing viewers in droves. The recent stuff has gotten the lowest viewership in franchise history, almost 60 years worth of stuff, and they're getting the worst they've ever gotten. And it's just really impressive that they've destroyed this franchise so summarily, and it's mainly because of the political propaganda which was injected to it. And a lot of people will implicitly connect the political propaganda with the idea of a diverse Doctor. So whether or not that's true, it's just how things are going to be seen from now on, at least for the time being. So we need to return to the form. We need a young, straight white man to take up the role again, to remind us of Tennant and Smith, and just really bring in those fans and be like, hey, we're just about telling good stories. We don't want any political propaganda. We're going to move away from what you've seen the series as in recent years. That's how you get people back in. And then if 10 years you want to experiment again with the good writer, there's the possibility. But right now we need a return to form because the fans have been burned by the idea of a diverse Doctor, by talentless hacks writing it, and a terrible actress playing the role as well. So it's just a lot of stuff going on that is complicated, and there's a lot of nuance to this argument, but CBR doesn't give a shit about that nuance. They just care about the political propaganda and the corporations telling them, oh, we care about diversity. Diversity is the most important thing. It's just fucking hell. And the casting quickly returning to an overrepresentative character type. Overrepresented. It's okay to have a lot of white people in stories in a country that is primarily made up of white people. If we went to Indonesia and they had a version of Doctor Who, would you expect them to be like, oh, you mainly have Indonesians playing the Doctor? I think you need to make a white guy it just so that we can say we're disassociated from racism. No, because that would be insane. It's only with the white characters that they have a problem with, no matter where in the world something like this could take place. It's white no matter where it is, even if white is the minority in whatever location that's being referred to. So that's just... There's a lot of terrible stuff that they say in here, but I consolidated it in my article for Geeks and Gamers. They just have it's so detached from the franchise. It's as if they don't even watch the show or even care about the show, that they come at it from this perspective. The fact he's taking over meant dumping several narrative arcs set up in the last few Doctor Who seasons. And yes, it needs to be dumped on. From the viewership alone, we've seen that fans are summarily rejecting everything that they're providing us. So yes, those narrative arcs that you're referring to need to be rejected and need to be dumped all over. So yes, his casting would imply that. And that is a very good thing. But the fact that you're defending it means that you don't give a shit what fans are thinking. You don't give a shit about the health of this franchise. You're fully willing to run it into the ground, CBR, just for inking whatever political messaging and virtue signaling you can get out of it. But while he was capable, yeah, it goes into how he's a good actor. So it's like he's capable of doing the role, but it didn't mean he was quite right for the franchise now or maybe ever. So they're saying, oh, we never want a white man to do it again because they did it before. And we want diversity, and it would just be an insult to the female Doctor. No, it wouldn't be an insult. Well, I mean, it would be from the writing standpoint because of how god-awful it's been. But I do agree that a female Doctor could work under the right circumstances. I mean, in this comedy special, they had a female doctor that was all right. And the Missy Master, I really enjoy. So there is always the possibility, but it has to be done from a talented perspective with better execution, method, motivation, and the divorce of ideology. The ideology is what's really destroying the franchise and the idea of a female doctor. As long as it's done right, I believe it's possible. But with how politically motivated the series has been up to this point, everyone will assume it's from a political propaganda point if the next doctor is a diverse doctor. And I would fall into that camp. I would assume it's for political reasons. And as long as it's for political reasons, we can't trust them to give us a good product because they've shown time and time again that they are incapable of giving us a good product as long as propaganda is their primary goal. Grant would have been another in a long line of white men playing the Doctor. Whitaker's casting began from the fulfillment of the promise that women, non-binary, queer, and non-white actors could star in the role of the longest-running TV shows. Fucking hell! Ugh. It's literally, they see the world in diversity quotas, and that's it. It is a numbers game for them. That is it. There's too many white men. Bad show. Ooh, lots of diversity. Good show. Writing doesn't come into it at all for them. Acting doesn't come into it at all for them. They just care about the quota. The quota should mean nothing. In the majority of franchises, I don't care what a character looks like, identifies as long as they're good characters. And I can relate to anyone who has a good story because it's the story, the drive, the struggle that makes good characters. That's what make people fall in love with characters. I am not a fucking alien from another planet with two hearts who can change my face whenever I want. I'm not. So, should I be allowed to relate to the Doctor? Yes, because I can relate to his drive to be a good person. I can feel his need to help people. That is a very fundamental thing that anyone can connect with. And my favorite movie from last year was Last Night in Soho. Am I a teenage girl dealing with depression? No, I'm not a teenage girl, but I can understand mental health struggles as I've written about a lot of them myself. It's about the struggle. It's about the story. So, yes, women, non-binary, queer, non-white actors can play great characters and have done it in the past. But when you break them down to only the way they look and identify, you take away a lot of the great stuff that makes characters good. This is just the gay one. You gotta love it because it's gay. All right, what is the character? What do they care about? What are their drives? What is their... No, they're the gay one. Anything else? No, they're the gay ones. You have to love them because they're gay or whatever. It's their diversity quota that makes them good characters in these people's opinions. Nothing else seems to matter. Yes, I do believe diversity is important to a certain extent, and it needs to be give and take, and it shouldn't be any blanket statement rules about quotas or any math involved. It's just kind of, if you want to make a story about African mythology that's 100% black, go for it, because those are incredible stories with incredible characters that would be very compelling. Do I live in Africa? No. Do I have African heritage? Not that I'm aware of. Does that mean I can't relate to African mythology? No. So, degrading these characters to just single attributes and making that their whole personality is a fundamental misunderstanding of character acting and character writing. Attributes combined make a character, but if you take one attribute and make a character, it is going to be as flat and two-dimensional as a lot of these political characters have been in the past. And they're going to be summarily rejected as the two-dimensional flesh cardboard cutouts that they are. And we've seen that so many times. Rey is one of the most basic characters I've ever seen. But I've been told I'm not allowed to dislike her because she's a woman. No, I can dislike her because she's written like shit and played like a cardboard box. And that's not necessarily Daisy Ridley's fault. I've seen her in other stuff and she's been good. So it's all about the writing. She was giving a cardboard character, so she played a cardboard character. So as long as it's just, it's the woman, it's not going to be a good character. So debasing the Doctor into this, we want diversity. All right, well, are we going to do good writing this time, or are we going to keep doing what we did with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and write like a 10-year-old girl with a crayon? Yeah, pretty much. Fucking hell, I don't want that. I want good stories. And right now, we cannot trust that diverse stories in Hollywood or in Doctor Who specifically will be good stories because of the motivation and the execution behind them. That is the problem, is we can't trust them. They can be good, absolutely, but we can't implicitly trust them up front because of the propaganda and the agenda that they've admitted that they have in Hollywood. Alex Kurtzman straight up said, I don't care about Star Trek. I care about the political propaganda and the political platform of which it provides me. That says he doesn't give a shit about writing. He doesn't give a shit about the show. He doesn't give a shit about his characters. He's just going to put in whatever diverse people he can and build a narrative around it, just like having a real life politician playing the president of Earth in the recent Star Trek finale. That doesn't say good character. That says propaganda. And that's where we have a problem with this. And CBR not understanding that nuance and just making fun of the fans for wanting a certain actor to play the part just because of how that actor is born with a few attributes. He's born white. Nothing he can do about it. Doesn't make him a bad person. I mean, for these people it does. So diversity quotas don't imply quality or one way or another. But when people weaponize their diversity, it becomes a statement on quality. And that's what I have an issue with. With all of this is it's the people utilizing diversity as a weapon that drives down its quality, that makes representation a synonym for bad quality just because of the people who are utilizing it. It is in and of itself a neutral tool, neither positive nor negative, but these people make it negative every single time. And CBR is propagating this negativity that these studios and corporations are propagating. The expectation is that the Doctor's new generation will continue to break the mold and cast another woman, person of color, or alphabet actor who would give more variety to the character's long history. It doesn't provide any variety. It's not that important. Make a spin-off show. That's what I've always said. I'd love to see a Romana show. Give me a fucking Romana show and cast a black actress to play her. I have no fucking issue with that. And the Doctor, I do think, can be a person of color, and that would be fine. I just think he's more of a male character, but there is always the possibility a female character could work, a female actor playing the Doctor. But we can't trust them right now. So we need to return to form to bring fans back and then experiment later. To promptly jettison the possibility and cast Grant or any other white male would frustrate Doctor Who fans who've appreciated seeing more diversity. These fans that they're talking about don't exist. There are Twitter people who just see, ooh, diversity, I love this show now, and then forget about it after the first couple episodes. No, the actual fans of this franchise are abandoning ship so fucking fast that the viewership are the lowest that they've ever been. Ever been! So, these Doctor Who fans are talking about are just the ones in it for the political clout and don't actually have a love for this franchise, as we've seen by the jettison of fans. So yeah, CBR, continue to be Axis Media, continue to not give a shit about fans, not give a shit about franchises, and continue to be everything that we see you as. And your readers will abandon you as quickly as they're abandoning these franchises. So be careful, because you're spelling out your own doom by propagating such political propaganda, and it's really disgusting to see. Just care about the fans, care about your readers, and realize that there's a nuance to these arguments. It's not just a blanket diversity good, white men bad. There's nuance. That's what I always say, is there's nuance, but these people don't understand that. They don't care about nuance in any way, shape, or form, and that's always going to be a problem. As long as they don't care about nuance, there's never going to be subtle storytelling. There's never going to be careful allegory, because political stuff has always been in creative endeavors. It's always been there, and that's not a bad thing as long as it's done subtly and with good talent. This isn't subtle or with good talent. It is a baseball bat to beat the fans over the head with and say white men bad, diversity good. And CBR has been handed that baseball bat, and they're going to hit their viewers with the same message. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.